time to find your control bar with the Q&A box and the chat. Mackenzie, do you just edit this when you start this early recording? You edit off that little bit at the front?
I will now. Usually my timing's better.
Okay, well, I will go to the next slide. Okay, welcome everyone to today's Cultivating Success Sustainable Small Farms Education webinar. We're really excited to be talking about marketing again with Emily Black. So her last webinar was really, really popular, and so we asked her to come back and share some more in-depth information about how you can develop a relationship with your customers and keep them flowing in. Cultivating Success is a partnership of University of Idaho Extension and the Washington State Food Systems Program. Just a couple of quick webinar tips. If you close the other programs running on your computer, again, dedicating your bandwidth to this webinar could help with your sound and what you see in terms of the speed of slide transitions. If at any time you're having trouble, please type into the chat box, and Mackenzie and I are standing by to assist you. You can also type questions at any time during the presentation into the Q&A box. So the Q&A box is separate from the chat box. So we encourage you to use the Q&A box for questions for Emily and the chat box for any type of technical assistance, or if you would like to introduce yourself or just make a general comment. This webinar is being recorded, and the webinar recording and a handout of the slides will be available on the Cultivating Success website in the next couple of days. With that, it's my pleasure to introduce Emily Black. Emily is a farmer and marketing coach up in the Athol area of Idaho, so the North Idaho. And she and her husband Luke run Lone Mountain Farms, and she has a consulting business working with producers called Cultivating Your Market. I'm Colette D. Phelps. I'm an area educator with Community Food Systems and am the facilitator for the Cultivating Success webinar series. So Emily, welcome. We're so glad that you're here today. I'm excited to learn a lot, as I'm sure our guests are.
Awesome. Well, I am excited to be here. So let me just take over and I will get right into things here. So today we are diving into a 3-step marketing method to keep your customers flowing in. So today, this is really like the fundamentals, the framework for putting a marketing plan together. So whether you're just starting out and thinking about making your farm into a business, or if you've been a farmer for many, many years and you are just thinking about new ways to reach your customers, maybe grow and needing to reach more people. So wherever you are in your marketing journey, I think you're going to be able to get some good information from today. And just like Colette said, if you have any questions throughout, just type those into the Q&A. Because I love to answer questions. Like, I am not here just to talk at you. I want to make sure that you leave with your questions answered and ready to move forward in your marketing. Before I get going too much here, let's just go back to the basics. I always like bringing things right back to the basics. Why are we even talking about marketing? You know, we hear about it all the time. It's part of business, but like, what is it? Why are we even talking about that? And it's really just to help us sell our products. So we are typically the operators. Like, we like to get our hands in the dirt, do the thing, make the product, and then we have this and we're supposed to sell it and make money and have a business. So marketing really just connects the dots from making the product to then selling the product. So with great marketing, your customers are going to be coming to you. You're going to be selling out of your product. And you're going to have that opportunity to grow your business. Because when you're selling out, that's the trick of, hey, I need to be making more, I can be selling more, and I can be growing my business. So for today, the 3 steps that we're going to go through, like I mentioned, are kind of that framework. We're going to go through this framework, and by the end, you'll have all of the kind of basics to create a basic marketing plan. And that plan is there for you to get in front of new customers, to build your credibility, and to keep your customers coming back for more. So for those 3 steps, the first step is to attract. That's getting in front of new people. So attracting new people into your business. That second step is to nurture. So taking them into that deeper relationship, getting them to really want what you have and want to buy from you versus somewhere else. And then that third step is to retain the customer and have them coming back for more. So to kind of put this into a little different perspective, I have a little graph or chart here. So we're going to start out with number 1 is attract. So this is where they start. This is where new people come to you. They start learning about what you have and why they want it. And then if they really like what you're doing, they're going to move to this nurture stage where you have the opportunity to keep talking to them, to keep nurturing them and getting them to then buy from you. So then we have this sale transaction. Once they are a customer, then we get into that retain marketing on how can we keep that relationship going? How can we keep talking to them so they go back and buy more? So it's kind of that retain, nurture, sale, and that's going to be a lot easier than trying to find new people every time. So that retain step is pretty important. So let's dive into some more details. And I think I'm going to just stop after each step here to answer any questions. So we're going to start out with attract. This is reaching new people. So it's sharing stuff about you, your business, your product with new people who will love what you offer. So these people don't know you yet. They are not in your sphere at all. So they're not following you on social media. They haven't seen you at the farmer's market or any other marketing materials. They aren't your family members or friends, so they really don't know anything about you. They have no ties with you yet. One of the key things that I want to say on this slide is, you're not just reaching new people, you're reaching people who will love what you offer. They are looking for your product. So the goal in this step is to really reach those people who want what you've got. So they're already looking for your product. So now you just need to reach who they are, because not everybody is going to be your customer. There are, when I started my vegetable farm, I was like, well, everybody eats vegetables, so everybody's my customer. But not everybody's my customer, and I learned that pretty quickly when, the customers just aren't coming in. Like, you grow it, but they're not coming. So you do have to reach out to these people and let them know what you have. Some people, they just want to go to Walmart. They want to get all of their stuff in one stop and go home. They don't want to buy local. They don't care about knowing their farmer and that kind of thing. So not everybody is going to be your customer. So you don't need to talk to everybody. You just need to talk to those people who really want what you have. So to do that, we need to know who we're talking to. And a couple things to think about is like your location. So if your product is very local, like it is maybe produce, and you're not going to be shipping produce across the country. You're just wanting to share it with your local community. Location is going to be important on where your marketing efforts are positioned. So think about the location of your customer. Think about their interests. So do they like to cook? I mean, as a produce farmer, my customers need to be able to cook all this food that they're getting. So they really have to be interested in cooking. They have to be interested maybe in nutrition, knowing their farmer, being able to see where their produce is being grown. So think about your product. Think about your kind of potential customer and what they would be interested in order to be able to use your product. And then the demographics. So is this a younger generation? Is it mainly moms who are cooking for their family and they're really looking for nutritious local food? Or is it an older demographic? Maybe they're not on social media, they're not on the internet too much. Like it really depends on, you know, who these people are and how to talk to them and where to talk to them. So what do they want? Just like I mentioned a little bit earlier, like if it's a mom with, you know, her family to provide for, she's going to have certain interests versus a single college student or maybe an older couple. Like they all have different interests and what they really want. So a lot of the times when we are a small farm, we need to be very specific on the benefits of what our farm offers. So it's local, nutrient dense, maybe you offer delivery. You know, moms don't have a whole lot of time to go shopping and do all of the things. So if you can cut down and make life easier for your customer, think through those on what they're looking for and how you can position your product to meet those needs. Maybe they're looking for a U-Pick or like that family outing environment. So kind of think through what they want. And then the last thing here, I'm kind of thinking about that customer is where will they come across your farm? So the people who really want what you've got are already searching for you. They are searching for you in many different locations. It could be online, it could be through flyers, it could be at, you know, the farmer's market. They're going there to search for certain products. So you want to show up where they are already looking for the products that you offer. So now that we have a little background on that attract, I'm going to get into like, okay, now that we kind of have an idea, how are we actually going to do this marketing thing? So there's a couple different things I'm going to go through for this attract. When your customer is searching for that product, a lot of people are searching on Google. So wouldn't it be nice if you just popped right up and they saw you and they could come and buy from you? So having a website, and the search really comes into play with SEO, search engine optimization. I'm not going to dive into that. It's a very next level kind of thing, but just having a website is the first step. So I do recommend, you know, marketing yourself online through your own website. This is an area where you can control. So unlike Facebook or Instagram or third-party sites, like your website is your online home. You can design it however you want. You can communicate whatever you want. You can sell typically whatever you want. But websites are great. That's kind of 101. I definitely recommend having a website. Third-party sites are other like websites that are trying to promote local food or your product somehow. So like Local Harvest is a great one, or maybe Etsy. So if you have an actual like handcrafted something, you could do Etsy. But this is like another platform that you don't really have a whole lot of control over, but people are searching on that platform. So it's great to be there as well. So you can pop up where people are searching for you online. The next thing is social media. So when you're posting on your own social media, it's usually just going to the people who are already aware of you. So to reach people who don't know about you yet, you can get into different Facebook groups. So I know in our area, we have a good handful of different Facebook groups that want to promote local. So you can actually like just post on there, hey, come out to the farm stand, we're doing something fun this week, or hey, I've got eggs, like order through the website and you can pick up here, blah, blah, blah. So think about Facebook groups and reaching people who don't know about you yet through there. Also Facebook ads. So Facebook, they survive through ads. That's really how they are a business. So you can pay to run ads, and you can be very targeted. So when you know that person that you're trying to reach, their location, a couple of their interests, you can send out an ad and get in front of new people who don't know about you yet. Another one here is printed materials. So flyers, brochures, business cards, having kind of your own marketing materials. So you can put those up at maybe the library. Your customer goes to the library, or I know that there's a lot of opportunity with rack cards, and they're definitely a good thing to have. You can pass them out. You can put them in multiple different locations where people are looking for you. Business cards is just kind of a nice one because there's a lot of bulletin boards out in the community that promote different businesses, and you can put your card up there. So just getting in front of people in these random places that you know they'll see you. Printed materials also includes like ads in the newspaper. There's a ton of free magazines that people can just pick up. And if that is the target that you're going for, so just reach out to the magazine, see who their target is. A lot of them will have a website, and you can just be on there and make sure that that's the right customer base that you're trying to reach. And then I also have articles on here. This is kind of like that PR. If you're doing something new at the farm or something event-worthy, newsworthy, you can reach out to your local newspaper. They're always looking for stories, so it's definitely an opportunity to get an article written up about you, or they might just ask you to put a PR piece, so just your own written thing together and some pictures to put in the paper. So definitely takes a little effort, but worth it for sure. And then the last one here is events. So events, like I mentioned a little earlier, would be like the farmer's market. Or if your customer, hangs out at the park and there's different events that happen at that park, how can you get a booth? How can you get in front of people you know are going to be buying from you? So those are a couple of those how factors and what resources to go through to reach people who don't even know about you. All right, Colette, are there any questions that have come in?
So a couple questions, Emily. One is you talked about really identifying who your target audience is. What do you recommend about having multiple target audiences? Like how narrow do people need to think about their target audience?
Yeah, and this was really hard because I don't know, it's just really hard to nail down, and you can't ask everybody who comes in your door, like, okay, well, what are all of your interests? And what's your actual age? And, it's just kind of this ambiguous, like knowing who I'm trying to sell to, like, how do I even get to that point? So when you're starting out, you have to be very broad. So you really don't know who's going to really love your product until you start selling your product. So you can keep it very broad in the beginning. So if it's just location and maybe women, or location and men. So something that, you're trying to narrow things down, but you don't know for sure, then it's kind of the smear campaign. So you're just posting everywhere you can think about to get in front of new people. So they care about local, or they care about knowing the maker or the farmer. So there are some things that are still narrowing it down, but keeping it kind of generic. And then once you start selling your product and you get feedback from your customers on like, oh, I love this, I'm telling all of my friends, well, you want to be shooting for that person. Okay, well, that's a specific demographic even more, because you're going to have favorite customers. There will be people that come in that are outside of your scope of your typical customer. And that's cool, but you're wanting to market to people who you love working with and who also love everything about you and want to tell all of their friends. So you don't have to market to anybody who has bought from you, like that demographic. There will just be some outliers, but there will be a majority of people who really like your product. Another thing is, yes, you can definitely advertise to different demographics and go that route too. So don't put yourself in a hole. I mean, the idea behind knowing your customer is just to not to waste your time. I don't want you to be talking to everybody who is walking through that Walmart door and isn't gonna buy from you. So knowing at least in that general realm of who you want to be coming through your door and who will actually be buying from you, that's the goal here.
So in thinking about that and knowing your customer and who you really want to bring through your door, when you're in a situation where you have an opportunity to collaborate with other farmers, and this is something that I've seen a lot happening, especially in Facebook groups where small communities like Viola have a farm store that they're actually aggregating goods from multiple farms, or like you're involved in the Panhandle Farm Corridor. How would you suggest people look at those types of opportunities in terms of attracting a new customer?
Yeah, and that's a really good one. I should have put that on this slide. I'm putting a note down to put collaborations on this slide. Because that was kind of one of our strategies that we didn't really know was a huge strategy until we saw how powerful it was during COVID. So at the beginning of COVID, when everybody was kind of shut down, we got together with other vendors, put a box of local goods together, and that exposed our brand with everybody else's audience and vice versa. So as long as you are collaborating with, another business that has similar customers, like they want to buy local, they, are all about supporting the community and all of that kind of stuff. So I say that is so powerful, because that one is more, I think that's more targeted than like a newspaper would be sometimes. Not all the time, because I've seen amazing results from putting an ad in a newspaper. But that collaboration is also like kind of that word of mouth of, hey, we support this brand. It really cuts through and gets to that trust factor a lot quicker. So when you are collaborating with other businesses that have similar audiences, that is that's pretty powerful.
Great, thank you. So no other questions right now.
Okay, well, let's dive into step 2, and that is to nurture. So you've gone to all of this hard work of reaching new people, and not all of them are going to then come and buy from you, but some of them are going to be like, who is this? I'm really interested and I want to know more. So there's going to be a certain portion of people who want to know more, and then they are going to take that next step and they are going to follow you on social media. They are going to maybe join your email list. They might email you directly and ask you questions or come talk to you at the farmer's market, but they are going to, take that next step, because you're through that first attract stage, you're going to be inviting them to follow you, to join an email list, to learn more. So a portion of those are going to then come into this step 2, so you can nurture. You can build trust with these people. So this step is critical to kind of get them to that sale. So you're continuing the conversation with them, and you're taking them to that next level and taking them deeper into who you are, what you offer, and why it's so amazing. So the goal here is really to lead them to the sale. So are there hesitations? Like, what is preventing them from purchasing from you? Is that, the cost, the time it takes to get the product, what's going to be in the box, like what do you feed your animal, like what are certain hesitations that people are having before they buy from you. So this stage in this nurture stage is to get rid of all those hesitations, to address all of those, and to make them like, okay, that's great. You've answered all of my questions. I don't have any more hesitations. I'm ready to buy. So this nurture kind of gives people that next level just of comfort and trust and confidence in buying from you. So what makes your product different? Like, why should they buy from you instead of going to the grocery store or buying from somebody else? What are the benefits? So beyond just like the nutritional benefits or, the care that you have in your product, are you delivering? Are you offering a subscription so they can just sign up and not think about it again? Like, what are the benefits? How are you helping your customer in their everyday with the product that you offer? Maybe you offer additional recipes and all of that good stuff. So they're going to know that you're supporting them after they make that sale. So this is a good opportunity here just to kind of think about bringing them along the journey with you. Some of the hesitations are that they just don't know you, and your product might be more expensive. It might be less convenient for them, but bringing them along the journey with you of who you are, how you farm, how you make your product, really builds that confidence, that relationship of, ooh, I really want to support this person, not just have the product, but I want to support this person as well because I believe in everything that they're doing. So bringing people along the journey with you and not just talking about the sales, but going deeper into, why you do what you do, what makes you different, and how can you build that that bigger story, I'd say, for them to follow along with. So let's talk about how to do that. So again, we're going to start out with your website and third party. So at this stage, so they have already seen you somehow. They know about you. Maybe they saw a sign. Maybe they picked up a brochure. And now they're actually searching for you specifically. So they're not just online searching for a farm near them. They are searching for your farm name. They want to know more about you. And if you don't show up, that's a big question mark. When people are online, they want to find all of the details. Not every customer, but some customers dig real deep, and they want to know everything about you before buying from you. So I, again, have to say you need a website, so you show up, and then again, the third-party sites, when they're searching for your name, and your website comes up, and your Facebook page comes up, and your third-party, all these other things show up, they're like, oh my goodness, this person is everywhere. This is a legit business. I know, like, the trust is established right there. Like, okay, they've got reviews, they've got this, they've got that. Okay, I'm feeling a lot more comfortable about who they are and that their product is quality. So having that online presence is important. Social media is going to change a little bit here. So if they are following you now on social media, they're going to see what you have posted on your Facebook and Instagram. So definitely be posting regularly on your business accounts. Make sure that they're business accounts and not just personal pages. I do recommend having a social media strategy so you don't forget to post and people know that you're consistent. There's always something going on and you can be top of mind. And then if you are kind of new, kind of building up the social media presence, you can also share whatever you've posted from your business account over onto your personal to tell your friends and your family, hey, this is what we're doing. This is what we're excited about on the farm. Please, come follow us over on our business account to keep up to date all the time. So it's another way just to reach the people who already know you, but they may not be following your business account yet. And then again, Facebook ads. In this case, you can actually do some different retargeting ads with Facebook. So you can retarget anybody who goes to your website. So I know that there's some, if this is freaking you out, sorry, but Facebook is definitely everywhere and watching everything. So they, depending on how you have stuff set up, there's some different code that you can put on your website to track who visits your website, not too specifically, you can't find their information, but Facebook can retarget ads to them. And then if you have an email list or if you want to retarget all of your Facebook and Instagram followers, you can pay to reach more people because not everybody who follows you is going to see everything that you have. So the Facebook ads just kind of gives you a little extra reach on all of those things. And then we have our email. So email is a big one because not everybody is going to be following you on social media or seeing you on social media, even if they are following you. So inviting people to join your email list is a really, really strong strategy to continue marketing to the people you want to reach. So one of my customers that I'm working with, she actually just sent out an email and got 2 more big orders from that email that she sent out. So it's powerful. It's communication. Like this is all about like talking to these people, letting them know what you're doing and inviting them to buy from you, because a lot of the people who are following you, they want what you've got, but they don't know how to get it, or maybe they were out of town through your last sale, or you still need to be communicating and letting people know how to get your product. So email is a really strong marketing strategy. So on your website, have a big sign-up link for people to join your newsletter and email. Same thing with social. You can post inviting people to join your email list and get a 10% discount. But email is so much stronger in that direct communication than social media is. Social media is kind of that fun, hey, follow us, follow the journey, we're telling our story. But the people on your email list are really clicking on your email because they really want to know what you're doing and why you're doing it and how they can get it. So I think that's a stronger communication channel. So definitely set up an email provider. If you don't have one, you can just do like MailChimp and start getting the email sign up so you can start talking to people more directly and letting them know what's going on. All right, Colette, any new questions?
So one question is, when you're thinking about your website, and this is something that I've noticed, oftentimes I go to farm websites and I can't find anything about the farmer. So I can see a lot of information about their products, but I can't figure out, there's no pictures of the farmer. I don't know the farmer's names, but the product part is really nice, but the personal part about who is producing the product is missing. What comments do you have about the importance of having a face and identity as a human being on your farm site?
Yeah, that's a really, really good point, Colette. So it's hard, like as a farmer, like, no, I'm doing my thing. You just buy my product. I don't really want to talk about myself or, take pictures of myself. There's definitely that struggle of, okay, who am I in this business? We're not just producing a product. We are a business. And as a business, there's a brand. So that goes way beyond your logo and your colors and your font. It is the personality of the business. And as a small agricultural business, people want to connect with you because your product could just be a commodity. If you're growing vegetables, great. Well, they can get vegetables at the grocery store. They can get vegetables from somebody else. Like, why would they come to you? And a lot of it has to do with who you are, how you show up as a farmer and as a brand. So I think that it's important as a small business, we have to take advantage of any leverage that we have, and people want to connect with you, or at least know who's behind the product that they're buying. That's part of the story that they even tell their friends of, oh yeah, I know the farmer that I bought this from. So it's part of business, it's part of your brand, and it's part of building trust. So when you are doing business with somebody you don't know, there's a different level of trust. It's like when I go to the grocery store, I don't need to know anybody specifically. I just know that brand, that entity is going to provide something solid for me. But when I'm going to an individual farm who is selling, a half a cow, I want to know who's raising that half a cow. I want to know their name. I want to know why they're doing it and their story, and that's going to connect with me and make me want to spend a whole lot more than buying it at the store. So I think it's really important to do that. It's a big leverage opportunity to sell more.
Yeah, I agree, Emily. Thank you. And I just wanted to say that I really, as a customer, appreciate the emails that come out because you're absolutely right. I have, I have like 3 CSAs and I'm not following the social media of those farmers. So I really rely on the email reminders about it's time to sign up. This is what the season looks like. And then I can go back and look in my email and find that very specific information like, oh, I don't remember what date that's going to start or what is the pickup day. So those email communications actually make that sale happen again for me personally.
Awesome.
Great. We don't have any other questions.
Okay, well, we'll get on to number 3 here. So hopefully you've done all of that hard work and that customer, that potential customer has now become the customer and they are so excited about your product. But now they're off in their own world, doing their own thing. How can you make sure that they are coming back to buy from you when you have product again, or when you have a new release, or when they're out of whatever they bought? How can you make sure that they're coming back to buy from you instead of going off and finding somebody else? So it is a whole lot easier and cheaper to be selling to a current customer than it is to find a whole new customer. So you've already done all this work to build that trust, that confidence, and now you just want to keep them coming back and keep making them happy and to tell all their friends. So the first thing that I have here is to think about building a good customer experience. So when I have a good experience going through buying from a farmer, I just have another level of confidence and kind of that connection. So what experience did your customer have? Was it a good experience? Was it awkward? Was it kind of uncomfortable? Or was it great? So think about the different kind of experience that you can leave your customer with. How did they feel? How would you feel in this type of situation? And then if they had any issues, like how did you solve those? What is your customer care kind of routine? Is it to ignore them? Is it like, well, no, my product is my product and I don't care about what you're saying? Or are you taking time to listen to them, to understand what they have to say? And, the customer is not always right. So it's not that you have to, say that they're right and give them something for free. You do have to listen, though. You do have to understand where they're coming from and either educate them on like, okay, well, that's how it's supposed to be. In our farm, we do this and this and this, and that's actually normal. That's how it's supposed to be. Sorry that you didn't have a good experience or that wasn't communicated well. Here's what we can do for you, kind of thing. So, really making sure that you have that after the sale customer care in place. And then from those issues, you can also understand new marketing language that you can put in, like a frequently asked questions on your website or a social media post, like something to like, okay, well, this was something that our customer wasn't expecting. Why weren't they expecting that? How can we communicate it so we don't have another customer expecting this type of product when they're getting a different type of product, because this is what we do. So different flavors, different texture, different, experience. So kind of think about after the purchase, how can you help that customer and make sure that they are happy? So our main goal here is to keep the existing customers buying. yes, there's the relationship. Yes, there's all the warm and fuzzy stuff, but the goal is in business to just keep buying our product. So we're going to give value. Like, what additional resources will help them use that product? So they bought it from us. Now, how should they use it? Like, maybe they bought a half a cow from you. Great. I don't know how to, use this much of this kind of cut. Like, I don't know how to cook that. Or I cook it and it's, more tough than I'm used to. Or so giving them the tools and the resources to use your product in the right way is going to help them come back for more. So set them up for success in using your product. Think about building loyalty. Like, how can you give them like that special experience so they can tell their friends like how exciting that was. And those different kind of, maybe you can invite them to like a special customer appreciation. So kind of those extra little things to make them feel special. Another thing on here that I didn't put is really just, thinking about like, how would you like to be treated? How would you like to go through an experience? Like, how can you just make this easier for that customer and to keep coming back for more? How can you go above and beyond their expectations? So just kind of those different little things to think about, because this, like, after you make a sale, it's like, oh, I made the sale, hallelujah. Like, now I can get back to just growing stuff. But don't forget to take the time to follow up with the customer, see what their experience was, see if they have any questions, see if you can, give them any advice or answer any questions for them, because that's going to be really good information to move forward in making it a better experience for new people as well. So definitely take the time after the sale to make sure you're doing this retain step. So let's just get into the how really quick. Website. So this is a good place to hold all of those tips. So like how to cook your bison burger, how to use kohlrabi, like what is that? So like having these different tools to help your customer use the product is great to just store on your website. And then when you email your customer, you can have all of these little tips and tricks, and they can just go over to your website. You can also print those out for them if they come over weekly for their CSA pickups and that type of thing. So think about those tips and resources on a blog or even printed. And then social media, this is great. If they're following you on social media, you can definitely just keep building that journey. So this is kind of that, kind of goes back into the nurture. So they bought from you. Now they're, you're helping them with the product, but you're also just continuously building that journey, that story through your social media with them. You can also do Facebook ad retargeting to these specific people. That one I feel is less important at this stage, but it still is an opportunity if you would like. I think the biggest one is really email. I would segment my email list for customers versus non-customers, depending on if I had the right information. But like if you're doing a CSA, you really know who your current customers are. And you can send out an email with all of those tips, all of those resources. You know who they are, and maybe next year's CSA, you can email them before you even open the doors to the public. So you can email them to sign up on your CSA before anybody else gets access. So you can give them special treatment through email segmentation. So it's definitely, this is that sweet spot. So when you're in that retain stage, I would say email is kind of that sweet spot, just like Colette said. Like she needs to hear from you on when to buy again and what are the details and all of that good stuff. So yeah, the retain step is just trying to keep those people happy and keep them coming back. Any questions, Colette?
We didn't have any that came in, so not yet.
Okay. All right. Well, oh, I have printed materials on here as well. So there was the last one. So I just want to go back to our steps here. So for our marketing plan, how are we getting in front of new people? How's that step number one going to be accomplished? Then how are we going to take the people who are really interested into that nurture stage and continue the conversation and continue telling them about who we are, what we do, and what we offer, and how they can get it. So then they get into the sale, and then after the sale, how can we take care of them so they keep coming back for more? If we leave them with a really good experience, they can then become our marketing. They tell their friends, they, tell all of their people about that awesome experience and the product. But that builds so much trust where instead of finding that person, your customer has already found that person and they have the opportunity to just jump into the nurture stage and go into the smaller cycle versus the attract. So yeah, those are the steps, and I would definitely recommend taking a little time just to think about how are you going to get in front of new people? How are you going to get them through any of those hesitations? Like, what are those questions that they're not sure about that are kind of hindering that sale? So really address those in that nurture stage. And then after the sale, then make them happy and keep them coming back. So I just wanted to let you know a little bit more. If you want to reach out to me, here's some different information. So I'm Lone Mountain Farms. We're in Athol, Idaho, and we do beer, produce, and eggs. So if you are in the area, we have some farm craft beer. We have a tasting room, farm stand, and we're open Fridays and Saturdays. So we'd love to see you and chat more there. You can also go to our website, lonemountainfarms.com. Or if you are in need of some marketing help, I am a marketing coach and consultant as well at cultivatingyourmarket.com. And I love marketing, I love farming, I love kind of figuring out the strategy for you to get in front of new people, really nurture them, and then make that sale and keep them coming back. So if you have any questions about marketing your farm specifically, or like how to set up this marketing plan, I would love to talk with you. I typically do like a 1-hour session for $150. But since you have joined the webinar today, I'd love to give it to you for free so we can just chat and kind of get you on the right path and get you selling out and growing. So if you're interested in chatting more about your own marketing, definitely reach out to me through my email. That's Emily@cultivatingyourmarket.com. And then we can just take you a little bit further and keep you growing.
Wow. Thank you, Emily. Thanks for that generous offer of that 1 hour of your time. That's really wonderful. And thanks for sharing your experience today. I really love your websites and all of the different the style and class and feeling that you put into your marketing efforts. And I definitely encourage folks to develop or to visit both the Lone Mountain Farms and the Cultivating Your Market websites. And if you have a chance, stop by the farm in Athol. So we didn't have any other questions that came in. We do have a comment from Lisa. Great webinar. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Lisa.
Okay, so what's next? We do hope that you'll take a few minutes to do like a 2 to 3 minute evaluation of this webinar. It is going to launch in your browser when you close out today. We will also be sending you a follow-up email with a link to the evaluation tomorrow, and then also a reminder that you can find a recording of this webinar and the handout at cultivatingsuccess.org/webinars. Next week is our last webinar for the season. So if you know of anyone or you yourself are really looking at owning and leasing farmland, you really want to think about what the costs of doing that are. I'm going to be giving next week's webinar and delving deep into how you can identify and plan for those true costs of owning and leasing farmland. With that, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, Emily, for sharing, and Mackenzie for your technical support. We hope that we see you next week on our last webinar of the season. Happy farming.